And welcome back to another daily devotion. I am Pastor Roy here at Woodlawn Christian Church in Lake City, Iowa, and this devotion is for Thursday, January 25th of 2024. We are in the Gospel of Mark, and today we have reached the end of chapter 6. We're going to look at verses 53 to 56, which will wrap up chapter 6. Remember, yesterday we talked about Jesus walking on water, and that section, verse 52, was, "For they did not understand about the loaves, but their hearts were hardened." The disciples still are not quite getting it, which is kind of mind-boggling. They've been with Jesus now. They were sent out and did healing and driving out demons on their own, two by two. But yet Mark's telling us they still aren't quite getting it. So let's read 53 to 56, and then we'll talk about it some more. "And when they had crossed over, they came to land at Gennesaret, and moored to the shore. And when they got out of the boat, immediately the people recognized him, and ran about the whole neighborhood, and began to bring sick people on their pallets to any place where they heard he was. And wherever he came, in villages, cities, or country, they laid the sick in the marketplaces, and besought him that they might touch even the fringe of his garment. And as many as touched it were made well." All right. I heard one time, and I've never checked the veracity of it, that there are 28 physical healings that Jesus does in the Gospels, which is very possible. Maybe even seems slow. It's like a little too low, doesn't it? Sometimes I don't know. That's something we should check out. I didn't get to check it out though. But at any rate, I've heard that before. So Jesus is big on healings. And here, these people are showing immense faith. They're bringing these people out. They heard about him. The word's gotten out and around. People know about him. That's why we had the whole feeding of the 5,000. Everybody came crushing in, right? And they're still crushing in. And many are healed here. Now, I'm not sure how you come up with that 28 because it doesn't tell us how many people were healed here, does it? Probably more than 28. I'll be willing to go with that one. But the point is that the disciples still weren't understanding it, but yet all these people see it clearly. They want to bring these folks out and get them healed. They seem to understand clearly. And that's one of those things that we talked about, that a prophet has no place in his own hometown. That Jesus couldn't do much healings back in his home digs in Galilee because people were too close to him. Maybe the disciples are even still too close to him. Still making judgments about him, about how they know what they know about him, that put limitations on what they can see. We need to be careful when we're walking with Christ, that we don't put limits on him. We tend to want to do that. Can Jesus heal people? Well, yeah, can. Does he typically work within medical means in this day and age? It appears that would be a reasonable comment to say that Jesus works with doctors and nurses. Does he have to? No. Proof text right there. He certainly does not, and all the other healings. So let's be careful that we don't limit him. Let's not don't put Jesus in a box. Don't do it. Don't ever do it. He is the Lord. He can do what he can. He can do whatever he wants. And he will do whatever he wants. It's all going to work out the way Jesus wants. But we have to be careful with that we don't limit him somehow. Perhaps even the disciples here, because of their closeness to him, are limiting what they're willing to see from him. That's kind of shocking, to be quite honest. So let's be careful we don't fall into that too. And remember, I think I've mentioned before with the at the beginning of this, my mentor Jesse always had the theory, and his belief was that the Gospel of Mark was written after the fall of Rome, and that part of the reason to tell the story of the disciples is to show that even they fell short. To reveal that they fell short, which is a story or a message that we need to hear, because we all fall short. None of us measure up. None of us have enough faith, guys and gals. We all fall short on faith. But even the disciples did. And his point was that he believed that partly that story needed to be told because the Christians in Rome during the fires in Rome and the persecution of the Romans afterwards, or of the Christians in Rome afterwards, many of them were tortured to the point where they ratted out their friends, and so there were people that had ratted other people out, and if the people had been killed, and maybe my father, mother, brother, sister, whatever, uncle had been killed as a result of you turning them in, and somehow you survived in prison until this whole thing got out, and Nero was killed, and now we've got to somehow reconcile. And Jesse's point was that he believed that was part of why the story was told. Not that that it didn't happen this way, but why did the story need to be told at that time, so people could see that even good Christians, disciples, fall short. All right, that's what I got for you today. We will pick up with chapter 7 tomorrow. We'll jump into that. Have a blessed day, and please, please, please be a blessing to someone today. And if you do enjoy the devotions, please like and subscribe. We'd love to see you back again. Remember, God loves you. Bye-bye.